Close your eyes for a moment and think about this. When was the last time your eyes felt truly rested when you woke up in the morning? Many people over the age of 60 quietly notice changes they don't talk about. Morning blur that takes longer to clear. Lights at night that look scattered instead of sharp. A tired, heavy feeling in the eyes, even after a full night's sleep. Most people assume this is just part of getting older. But what if it isn't? What if your eyes aren't getting weaker because of age, but because they're being quietly starved at night? Here's something most people don't realize. Your eyes don't rest while you sleep. They repair. And that repair process depends on what your body has available in the final hour before you go to bed. Not dinner, not supplements, but the small, sweet foods you eat before sleep. The problem is this. Most people over 60 eat the exact wrong kind of sweet foods at night without knowing it. And those foods can quietly stress the tiny blood vessels that feed your eyes while you sleep. That's why so many people wake up with dry eyes, scratchy eyes, pressure behind the eyes, or a dull, tired ache that feels like strain even when they didn't read or watch anything. It isn't happening during the day. It's happening at night. In the most surprising part, there are certain natural sweet foods that can do the opposite. They can gently support the tiny blood vessels in your eyes. They can help your eyes recover while you sleep. And they can help you wake up with clearer, more comfortable vision. No pills, no drops, no expensive treatments, just a small change in what you eat before bed. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the first common, healthy sweet food that many seniors eat every night that is secretly making their eye problems worse. Once you see it, you'll never look at your bedtime snack the same way again. Now, listen carefully, because this part changes how you'll think about your eyes forever. When you sleep, your eyes don't simply shut down. They quietly go into repair mode. This repair happens during a small, special window at night. It's the time when your body sends extra blood, oxygen, and gentle nutrients to the tiny nerves and vessels behind your eyes. Most people never even realize this window exists. But here's what's important. What you have in your system during this window matters more than people think. If your blood sugar rises too fast before bed, it can interfere with this delicate repair process. It doesn't mean permanent damage happens instantly, but it does mean your eyes don't get the full healing they were meant to receive overnight. That's why some mornings your eyes feel clear and comfortable, and other mornings they feel dry, heavy, strained, or tired. It's not random. It's your night repair window working well, or being disrupted. And as we get older, this becomes even more important. The tiny blood vessels that feed your eyes naturally become more delicate with age. That makes this repair window more fragile than it was when you were younger. Now, here's the surprising twist. Not all sweet foods are harmful at night. Some natural sweeteners release their sugar slowly. They help support steady blood flow, and they can gently support your eyes while you sleep. The problem is, most people never learn which sweet foods help and which ones quietly work against them. So they believe they're having a harmless bedtime treat, when in reality, they may be interfering with their own eye repair. And in the next part, I'm going to show you the first natural sweetener that quietly supports your eyes at night. It's not a pill. It's not a supplement. And it isn't expensive. It's something small, simple, and powerful. And most people already have it in their kitchen without realizing what it can really do. Now, lean in, because this is where most people get surprised. The first sweetener that can gently support your eyes while you sleep isn't honey, isn't white sugar, and isn't anything artificial. It's dates. Yes, those small, stark, naturally sweet fruits that many people think of as a simple snack. But dates are much more than that. Inside a single date are natural nutrients and plant compounds that help support healthy blood flow. They also contain gentle antioxidants that help your eyes recover from daily strain. And here's something very few people think about. When you sleep, your eyes go through a natural, overnight refresh cycle. During this time, damaged cells are slowly cleared, and new cells are gently supported. But that process works best when your body has a steady, slow source of natural energy, not sudden sugar spikes, and not artificial sweeteners. Dates provide that slow, steady release of natural sweetness. That's what makes them different. Now, think about this. How many people with blurry vision, dry eyes, or trouble with night glare have tried expensive eye drops, special glasses, or complicated routines, but never once thought about what they eat in the last hour before sleep? Most people don't realize their eyes aren't failing, though. They're simply not getting the right support at the right time. But here's where timing matters. Eating too many dates won't help. Eating them too late won't help. The real benefit comes from having a small amount. Usually just one date, about 45 to 60 minutes before bed. That's it. Nothing complicated. Nothing extreme, just a small, intentional habit. And imagine waking up and noticing your eyes feel less gritty, less heavy, and slightly clearer without doing anything drastic. And this is just the first one, because the second sweetener is even more surprising. And it's something many people already use every single day in the wrong way, without realizing how much it affects their eyes while they sleep. Now, listen closely, because this is hiding in plain sight for most people. The second sweetener that can gently support your eyes while you sleep is raw honey. But not all honey is the same, and that's where most people go wrong. Many supermarket honeys are heavily processed. During that process, much of honey's natural goodness is reduced. That doesn't make it bad, it just makes it less helpful for nighttime support. Real, raw honey still contains natural plant compounds and gentle nutrients that help support healthy circulation, including the tiny vessels that serve your eyes. And here's something very few people ever realize. How you use honey matters just as much as the type you buy. If you stir honey into very hot tea or boiling water, much of its delicate natural structure can break down. So while it still tastes sweet, many of its helpful properties don't survive extreme heat. That's why some people say, honey never worked for me. They weren't using it wrong. They were just unknowingly canceling its natural benefits. Now, timing is the second key. If honey is taken randomly late at night, it can cause small sugar rises that disturb the body's natural rhythm. But when used carefully at the right time, it can gently support steady energy during the night. And your eyes depend on that steady balance during sleep. They don't need spikes. They don't need crashes. They need calm, stable support. Many people experience dry eyes in the morning, excess blinking, or lights that feel sharper at night. And they assume that's just age. But often, it's simply a lack of proper overnight support. Here's the surprising part. Most people use honey in the morning or afternoon when it does very little for eye recovery, and completely miss the small nighttime window where it matters most. And this still isn't the most powerful helper, because the third sweetener isn't just food. It's something people have used for centuries in traditional diets to gently support their vision. And once you hear what it is, you may never look at your bedtime habits the same way again. Now, let's talk about the third sweetener, okay? And this one is often overlooked. It's called blackstrap molasses. Many people have heard the name, but don't really know what makes it different. Unlike regular sugar or light syrups, blackstrap molasses is thicker, darker, and naturally rich in minerals your body uses for circulation and tissue support. That matters for your eyes. Your eyes rely on very tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. As we get older, those vessels can become less efficient over time. Not suddenly, not painfully, just slowly and quietly. That can contribute to feelings like dryness, heaviness, or sensitivity to light. Blackstrap molasses works in a very gentle, supportive way. It doesn't act fast. It doesn't force anything. Instead, it provides slow, steady nourishment while your body is already in its natural nighttime repair mode. But here's what most people get wrong. Not all molasses is the same. Light molasses and sugar syrups don't contain the same mineral content. The version that matters is blackstrap, because that's where the natural mineral strength remains, and the amount matters too. More doesn't mean better. You only need a very small amount, usually about 1/2 teaspoon. Taken 45 to 60 minutes before bed is enough to gently support your body overnight. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just a quiet, supportive habit. Imagine going to sleep knowing that your eyes aren't being stressed, but gently supported, calmly nourished, steadily balanced, and waking up without as much dryness, less pressure, and a more comfortable feeling when you open your eyes. And now, here's the part most people miss. Even if someone uses all 3 of these sweeteners correctly, there is one simple bedtime mistake that can cancel out the benefits completely. One tiny timing error that many people make every single night without realizing it. And in the next part, I'm going to show you exactly what that mistake is, so you can avoid it and finally allow your eyes to get the support they need. Now, listen carefully, because this simple rule decides whether everything you've learned actually helps your eyes. It isn't just what you eat. It's when you eat it. Your eyes have a small, quiet repair window at night. This is when they respond best to gentle, natural support. If sweet foods are eaten too early, they don't help much. If they're eaten too late, it can disturb your sleep and your body's natural balance. The simple rule is this: have natural sweetness about 45 to 60 minutes before bed, and avoid sugary snacks in the final 30 minutes before sleep. That small timing change makes a real difference. Think about how many nights you may have gone to bed after a late cup of sweet tea, a biscuit, or a sugary snack, never realizing that your eyes were either being supported or disturbed in that exact moment. As we get older, our eyes don't become weak. They simply need a little more care than they used to. And the beautiful part is this: protection doesn't come from fear. It comes from small awareness. You don't need perfection. You don't need expensive treatments. You don't need complicated routines. Just small, gentle habits that work quietly in your favor. And now you know that sweetness doesn't always hurt. When it's natural, slow, and intentional, it can quietly support your eyes instead of stressing them. So tonight, don't think about doing everything perfectly. Just remember this one simple idea: right timing matters more than strong effort. And once you start paying attention to small habits like this, you'll begin to notice and protect things many people never think about until much later. If this helped you, give this video a like so it can reach other seniors who may need it. And subscribe, because in the next video, I'll show you one common bedtime habit that silently strains your eyes, and it might surprise you.